If you currently buy leads for your home service company or you're buying leads in general and just want to see how you can increase your set rates, the process is incredibly simple. Of course, you're going to need some setters so they can do this, or you yourself can start calling the leads, but let's talk about how to increase your set rates. And hey, I'm Carl Stoy, the founder of Stoy Media, and to make a long story short, we are a lead vendor that sells leads to home service companies on a pay-per-lead basis. So let's run through how to increase your set rates and the steps to be able to get more from your leads. Because look, you and your competition can both buy 100 leads, but if you are only setting 10% of those 100 people and your competition is setting just 20%, not 50, 20%, which the average is around 15 to 30% set rate, that's where you want to be, or even 40% depending on how good you are at doing this. But if your competition can simply set 10% more appointments, which is not very hard to do, which I'll talk about how to do it, but if they can set just 10% more, they are lowering their cost of marketing by double. You are paying double as much, twice as much as you should be for projects than your competition is simply by not having a good set rate. So let's talk about it. Look, the number one thing, if I could make one tip here and end the video, this is what it would be. To increase your set rates, you need to call how fast? Within 0 to 30 seconds. Now, I know you probably can't call within 0 seconds unless you have an auto dialer set up, but calling within 0 to 30 seconds. If you can call it 30 seconds, you're good. I made a different video about why calling leads within 5 minutes is outdated. The advice to call leads within 5 minutes is nearly 19 years old. So you want to be calling your leads within 30 seconds max. Now, of course, something happens, you can call them a little bit later, but depending on your lead flow, honestly, not even just depending on your lead flow, you should be calling your leads within 30 seconds. And if I could end the video here, this is the most important thing. The difference between a 10% and a 20% set rate could literally be 60 seconds or 1 minute faster response times to your leads. If you can't call within 30 seconds, within 2 minutes max, you're basically going to be paying twice as much for marketing simply by just not getting back to them. So that's it. That's the dirty truth, that if you can't call your leads within 2 minutes max, you're going to be paying double as much as your competition simply on marketing. You're just going to be having a higher cost of marketing for no reason, for a 1 minute difference. Now, another thing, you need to be able to follow up ruthlessly. So follow up, and I'll give you a schedule. Ruthlessly. See, the schedule to follow up properly within the first day, and correct me if I'm wrong, you could obviously optimize this for your business. I can tell you, the companies who are afraid of annoying people, well, you are not going to be able to set as many people. Like I said this earlier, you are simply going to have a cost of marketing that is double your competition simply because you're afraid of annoying people, which you will annoy people. 100%. From working with companies very directly, we have honestly only seen one person in 1,000 leads be upset with all the follow-ups, and I don't even think they were that interested to begin with. So frankly, you need to be following up, and yes, you may annoy someone, but you are going to get more people on the line because look, people are busy nowadays. You want to follow up with people not just because you want to annoy them, and you don't want to annoy them, let's be real. You want to give them a great customer experience. But if you're not following up with them, well, what happens if they were at work? What happens if they were driving? What happens if they had something going on and you, with your good quality roofing, I sure hope you have good quality roofing, you, with your good quality roofing, weren't able to get in touch with them, and someone else who wasn't that great at roofing, who didn't have that great of quality or great warranty, unlike yourself, they got in contact with them and closed them. And so now they went with a lower quality roofing company simply because you didn't follow up enough. Would you want that for your customers? Because I wouldn't. So look, you might have to be just a little bit annoying for their sake because people forget. That's just the truth. Most people won't get annoyed because, oh, they probably did forget. So what you should do is 7 touches in the first day, so 7x. For the second day, I would recommend 6 touches, and that includes phone calls and emails, or phone calls and texts, which don't really do email. Quite honestly, if you're running your own ads, don't even collect the email because you just don't need it. People will not respond over email. They would rather respond over SMS. And if you can just get the phone number, your chances of getting in touch are a lot higher. So, continuing on. For the third day, you'd want to get in touch 6 times. For the fourth day, you'd want to get in touch twice. For the fifth day, you'd want to get in touch twice, and that's phone call and SMS. Now, to break this down into SMS versus phone calls, of course, there's going to be a bit of a variance, which I'll run through, like what's your specific call schedule, your text schedule. But look, you can optimize this for your company. Hey, maybe you want to follow up with them for 7 days and call them 7 times a day, or 7 times a day total for 7 days. That's okay too. You just need to understand what works for us. You want to understand all your numbers, which to understand how to get a good set rate, you need to know your numbers. So track your numbers. See, okay, this past month, we've been following up 7 times, 7 calls and texts a day for 7 days, and we've seen a 20% set rate or a 30% set rate or even a 40% set rate. While this last month, we only followed up like this and we only saw a 20%. So just understand your numbers, find out what works for you. Every single state is different, every single person is different. So you want to understand what works for your company. But this is my recommended follow-up. And you may say, oh, this is too much. It's not too much. You want to pay double as much in marketing? Cool. But your competition is going to pay half as much in marketing, be able to spend a lot more money, and you're not going to annoy people. I don't know how to break that limiting belief. You are not going to annoy people. People are busy, people forget, and you're only doing them a service if you truly believe that your product is good. You want them to work with you. Why? Because you deliver good quality. So don't be afraid to annoy them. Now, in terms of phone calls, for the first day, I would just recommend 3 phone calls, 4 SMS. Of course, one of the text messages, that's why there's 7, not 6. One of the text messages should come in as soon as they land, saying something along the lines of, hey, this is Carl from XYZ Roofing. I just got a notification you were looking for a quote on your roof, or I just got a notification you were looking for a quote on your cabinets, or whatever. I just got a notification you were looking for a quote on your blank and claiming our XYZ offer. Is now a good time to give you a call to set up an appointment? Or would you be against me having someone swing by this week to give an estimate on your X? So it's very simple text. Do not overcomplicate the first text. It doesn't need to be complex. You simply need to say your name, your company, and why you're texting them, and what you want them to do. So your CTA. Do you want me to have someone come out and give you an estimate? Yes or no? That's it. That's the simplest SMS. And then in terms of calls, you want to make sure you have a script. Don't just answer, say, hey, this is Carl from XYZ Roofing. I was calling because you just submitted a form on our Facebook. Hold on. Instead, you could say something along the lines of, Amy? Hey, yeah, this is Amy. Yeah, this is Carl. Pause. From XYZ Roofing. I just saw you submitted a form on our website, or if you're buying leads from a vendor like us, I just got a notification you were looking for a quote on your roof. What was that you? Oh yeah, I was looking. I just have a house, whatever. Like, don't be afraid of just asking them questions and leading it like you are speaking to a friend. And as I mentioned, take that with a grain of salt. You can try different setting scripts. You can see your numbers. It really comes down to understanding your numbers and being like, okay, we gave this test for this month and we saw these type of numbers. Is this better than what we've done before? Okay, so that's really the basics of increasing your set rates. You want to text, you want to follow up, and you want to call as fast as possible. As soon as you get that ping, you want to be able to call within 30 seconds. That's my number one piece of advice. And if you have any questions, drop a comment. And if you're potentially looking to get more leads as a home service company and buy them from Stoy Media, then click the link in the description, book a call, and we'll talk to you soon.